This is Nichel Anderson, and I'm your host. I'm going to broadcast as I usually do during my summer months on both of my podcast shows. That's Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, as well as Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. So let's go ahead and get into this, okay? So if you're just joining me or you're trying to figure out what's the summer months, why is that kind of different, even though I am releasing once a month? Well, basically, with my summer months is kind of do a check-in. Particularly June is where I'm reflecting back in my previous season, which would be season 9 currently, going into my season 10, my 10 years doing podcasting. And so I kind of like usually either ask questions during this month or I do it either in July or August about my shows or what have you, episodes and what happened. But June's basically is a reflection of the previous time. So I want to go ahead and get into it. And usually these episodes are not long. So we're going to go ahead and start. I want to give all praise to God. Thank you so much for your blessing today and for me completing season 9. So usually I just go in to see what's my favorite moment that I had in my previous season, and that will have to be my Power of Reading week. I love that. I encourage you as I'm taking a break to catch up and look at that week. That was back in February. And I loved it because I was able to talk about really more of the creators, the talent back then during the Harlem Renaissance, because I'm still reading the book by one of my favorite mentors in history, and that's Dr. W.B. Du Bois, The Souls of Black Folk. And I introduced another book by a very famous person as well during that time, and that was by Zora Neale Hurston, Their Eyes Were Watching God. So I did part 1. I read the bio, the introduction, and what have you, and I started into the story. So that's part 1. And so in my season 10, which would be next year in February, in 2027, I will do part 2 and continue where I left off. So it'd be similar what I did with what I have been doing with W.B. Du Bois. So I highly recommend you check that out. That's my favorite on both my shows because I broadcast it on both my shows. The other thing I want to kind of touch on is the teaser of my PMTR NFT album. That's part of my PMTR NFTs that's on the blockchain, on Ethereum blockchain, that I created that collection about 3 years ago now. And it is available for mint. You can go, I'm going to have the link in this description. You can go to moleworld.com, find more about the storyline that I'm going to release those stories, as well as the music that I mentioned I'm working on. It's going to be an EP, not a full album like my album that I released in August of my music, of my whole storyline of Egypt. But nonetheless, do check that out. And I presented a teaser the last couple episodes in my season 9. And that, when it's going to be released, I'll announce that later. So now the big thing I want to get to is the magazine, my Mole World magazine. I announced it in my season 9 podcast, and now the date, here it is, y'all. It's October the 19th. That's what we're planning to have it released. When I'm planning to have it released on October the 19th. Do go ahead. You can sign up now. It's going to be a biannual release. So right now it's in October, and then it's going to be in May, which is basically my finales of my podcast shows. And if you're interested in signing up, if you go to the magazine page, a preview, you can sign up there. And sign up basically means you're paying for the issue. It just starts at $25 digital, and whereas $45, but that's the collector's album. So you get some type of autograph by me. And it's a collector's album because I'm on the cover. Or you can actually get the physical magazine mailed to you, and that's at a different tier. So do check out mole.com/shop to kind of find out those tiers. And as well, the link would be there, as well as to the magazine where you can look through it. It's like a flip book, so it's very cool. And if you're a business or if you're a brand, if you're an artist, if you're part of the DTC creators, the innovators, the influencers, okay, as an independent artist, do check out my media kit where you can have an ad slot in my magazine. It tied to my podcast. So the audience that I have here, the demographic, you can get access to that. So consider, and that would be a separate link if you're looking to book you a slot and be in my magazine. So the premiere podcast show, when I return back for season 10, it's going to be September the 21st, 2026, all the way to May. It's going to be May 18, 2027. So this is my 10th year of podcasting. Yay! I'm so excited. And it's been a long journey, but I'm very happy with that. With that said, On my Surviving Your Journey to a Success, I have pivoted towards a more partnership type program. So the interviews that I just started like a couple years ago, because my shows are mainly me presenting the content, motivating people on my Surviving Your Journey to a Success, and telling stories. All my short stories is from my book, My Dream to Turn That Into a Movie. That's the whole mole, okay? And so now I'm pivoting towards more if interview wise, if you're a brand, if you're an author, if you're a music artist, what have you, unless I'm inviting you directly, it's going to be on a tier platform. Do read my media kit, how I break that down, and look at the turning of the DTC. It is going to happen. Eventually, it's going to happen. And this is basically a media broadcast network that I'm creating. And that's what I feel that other artists, other independent creators are going to pivot to, especially if you're podcasting and you're doing a lot of work podcasting for one show. I'm doing two shows, and with the editing, with the audio, with the positioning, everything, and the buildup of the organic traffic, it's worth your time to look at that media kit and become a real partner to get this access in that sense so you can brand your message. All right. I only have 9 episodes. Okay. So it make it very exclusive, and it can save time. All right. I'm not going to get on too much on that. I might do another episode about the value of it and how it's time to pivot so we all can benefit. It's no more one, I get it and I'm gone, I got my link. It's more creating into the ecosystem of where the world is going so everybody can be. That's what the whole DTC movement is that we're tired of constantly creating things and we're not getting compensated or either way appreciative of what we're putting to the table. And it's not just a free for all one way. It has to be the 360. With the 360, everybody receive to be able to reinvest into what we call the reality now. Hallelujah. Let's go ahead and pivot towards my favorite thing this summer. Y'all, it's ice cream. I didn't know how many different flavors you can make. So I am all into these different recipes. I highly encourage you to as well. And if you haven't heard, Lord, Ninja made another machine that can do it like that. And I am just loving it. So if you have a favorite ice cream or sherbet or what have you, do share that. I am loving it. That's my favorite thing. I guess my favorite flavor would be the mixed with pineapple and other fruits, but it's very good. All right. And I guess my next thing on here, I saw my media kit, but I think I kind of touched on that. If you have any questions regarding my media kit appearing on my show, becoming a partner, as I said, go ahead and just email me at info@nichelanderson.com or info@mole.com. But pretty much either one, you will get to me. And that would be in the description. And just right quick on that is 2 slots. It's either a direct ad read, like I'm just reading basically what we agreed upon about your brand, about your message, like a commercial, or it could be direct with an interview where that's more, you put more seeds in the soil, okay? You get more talking time, okay? And give you to present what your message is and go forward. And again, I think it's all within the 360. Let's talk about my music. My song of the remix, Don't You Remember the Times, is still trending on my stats. So people are loving it. I'm so happy that they are. And I want to give a discount code to my other brand, Mole Beauty, which is for kings and queens, essential oils, natural organic essential oils for the body, for the mood. And the discount code would be in the description. It's basically thanks20, and you can use that towards anything to try out my products there. They help my dream in doing film, particularly my book. So I want to go ahead. I don't want to take too much time. I want to kind of check in and say that I'm enjoying my summer break and getting ready for my big show. I'm not announcing it yet, but I will soon what I am going to focus on either shows. But for right now, I want to leave you with a quote, and that is, define who you are for your heart to glow. That's true happiness. And what I want to say added to that is when we connect to our heart, we heal our heart. That let us be more calmer and not reactive. When we focus on our heart, we honor us. We honor ourselves. We have to honor ourselves and love ourselves. That old raised sage advice before we can love someone else. Because otherwise you'll be coming from a position of pain and regret and all that negative energy. And some people are really weak. They project that on other people, even that you don't even know them. So we want to step away from that and focus on our heart and define who we are based on our heart needs. And when we heal our heart, we become a more happier person. If you focus on your heart, you get connected to the divine, connected to God, and you find a peace of mind. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much. And guess what, y'all? I'll talk to y'all in the next